Not good. I think you're live. You live? The guy's coming on, eh? Am I live? Yeah, you live. Oh, just speak. And then I can hear outside. It's a bit lag. You live? The guy's coming on, eh? What's up, guys? Can you guys hear me? Good. All right.
How does that guy look actually?
God Silver is a black guy. That's Silver, yeah. He'll figure you out. And the second candle, which was now, we're going to see price pull back, reject that point before pushing up and creating that new higher high, right? So I want to see price pull back here, right? That's what I'm seeing on my 4-hour time frame. On my lower time frame, let's go on to the 30-minute time frame. Right, that's that level that I had plotted on there based on that higher time frame, right? On my lower time frame, if I look at structure, let me just remove this for now, right? If I look at structure, right, I can clearly see price is creating higher low, and that of course is the new higher high. I'm not sure why this mouse is like that. Yeah, that's the new higher high, right? So overall bullish structure on the lower time frame. So it's lining up nicely with that overall 4-hour close that I saw previously. How do I make this smaller? Let's try that. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Yeah, like so. So that's my structure. So we did get a rejection around the top here, right? There is a minor level of resistance at that point. But I'm just looking at this as my low. What you want to see is price pull down to my FOB area, right? And I want to see a nice rejection on that support. Once I get rejection on that support, you guys can see it's lining up very, very nicely with my FOB level, and then I look to take a buy and target the new highs. So now it's just a waiting game to see if price just trading because the market is moving, right? So if we're comfortable at entering at that point, that's where we will enter. We won't enter anywhere else beside that point. Cool. So yeah, let's wait for that. I want to go over something I caught yesterday. I wasn't on the live stream, but I caught it with my community. Very nice buys on Euro USD. I think we're lagging, eh? People are saying we are lagging very bad. And this thing is very slow. Check. Why is it doing this? Okay, yeah. So we caught the setup yesterday with the community, with my community. Very similar to what we are about to catch now, right? Overall structure bullish, right? Price creating higher highs, higher lows, right? That was the high, that was the previous low. Use the FOB, very similar to what we're waiting for now on NASDAQ, right? We use the FOB from the low to the high, right? Price came down to a nice line of support, also a psychological level of 500. Okay, and when price came to that point, we saw rejection. So guys, can you see rejection, multiple times price rejected that point. So that's exactly what we want to have a look at, what we want to see on NASDAQ when we're waiting for price to come to the support. We want to see that rejection, right? So we took a buy along this point here. I think it was, where was it, around here. Our stop loss was below the previous low, and we are targeting the new higher high. Price did push up, created a higher high. We closed our profits. all price is doing now is retracing to create a new higher, and it's most likely going to push up and create a new, sorry, price is just retracing to create that higher low, and it's most likely going to push up and create a higher high. I know a few of you guys are in this. It's saying you're lagging, bro. Okay, eh?
No, so one is watching us.
Things lagging, eh? Okay, let me try. It's lagging and disconnecting, eh?
It's something that they need to sort because
We are very lag, bro. Yo, look where we are here. And the viewership is dropping.
there's actually nothing we can really do, bro. Honestly, at least we're gonna have to need to upgrade, which we're waiting for.
Why does it always do that, man? Why does it always do that?
It's not. This is not made for stream, bro. This is a personal laptop. You know what I mean? We must get a proper, which we told in the city.
The live is lagging. Everyone's messaging me that.
Just give a second, quick. Oh, this is something. Hey. Okay, let's see my side can I check. Let's see, yes, I tried to do this quick. Take it off. Okay. You see now. Now, let's see. Check now. If it's stream. If it's lagging.
Nah, we still. Yeah. Look what where it's showing at. This was a long time ago, bro. We're live. See.
Switch off or not?
Huh?
Switch on and off?
No, this is live now. Look. Look where it is.
Yeah, this thing's showing crazy lag. This thing's crazy lag that way.
Are we still live?
We're live, bro.
Why don't you?
Hey, why don't you what?
I don't know.
What's your thoughts?
Close it and go into a new one, but now I want the link.
Okay, when I start it, what if it just continues like that? Because then. What difference is it going to be from stopping this and starting a new one?
I don't know, bro.
There will be no difference. Let's see. I think it just shows here, but here it's not showing. It's crazy.
I'm not even on it. Let me see that. How do I see that?
Oh, there, now it's right, bro.
Huh?
Yeah.
Why is mine not opening? Can you see it then? Huh?
Yeah.
Are we on?
Yeah.
Okay, just open it on mine, yeah? Just so I can see the questions. Okay, are we back? No, we're still lagging. There's no circle there.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a circle.
Here's a circle. Remember the lag also won't go away. That few seconds lag won't go away. It's going to be there.
Yeah, but it is still lag, bro. I did this a long time. Okay, but let's continue. Because remember, if the trade is live, it's going to be an issue. Because when I say buy, if they're going to pick it up like 5 minutes later, it's going to be a problem.
We complain we're not going to get it in time now, bro. We need a big CPU again.
Is it better now, guys? Let me know if it's better.
We need to actually.
Okay, let's look at a few other pairs. So yeah, for those who just joined or didn't get what we were saying, we're waiting for NASDAQ buys. I'm waiting for NASDAQ to retrace a bit further down to my 61.8 level. I want to see a nice rejection at that point before I look to buy. Overall, it's very bullish. Price can continue going on without us. And if that does happen, it's one of those things. It's not our trade. So all I'm doing is I'm going to wait for price to come down, give me a nice entry, take the entry and target the negative 27 here at the top, which would be the higher high. So I'm basically waiting for something like so. Something like this. That's the trade I'm waiting for. Right, so I want to see price come down, pick us up, and then shoot up and create that higher high. That's what we're waiting for. So we're just waiting for the retracement. Cool. So while we wait for that, let's chop up a few other pairs. I did go over Euro USD, very bullish as well, right? My community is already in buys on this. Price did come and give us another entry in the morning. I was on my way to the office, so I didn't jump on the new entry, but very nice trade on that. I was also looking at GBP pairs, a few GBP pairs, right? So GBP CAD, I think it was. Let's have a look at GBP CAD. Nice bullish momentum I saw there. Let's have a look. Yeah, here we go. So GBP CAD, I'm looking for potential buys, right? Structure wise, if you guys have a look, price was creating these lower lows and lower highs, right? And then price failed to create a lower low and then pushed up and created that higher high, right? So we could see price, this could be a retracement for price to push up a new higher low. I got my eye on this line of support, right? It's also a psychological level of 750. Right, so we could potentially see price come down to this point, give us rejection. We also have this point here, which I was looking at, but it didn't give me an entry. When price came here, it didn't give me a convincing entry, and that was a 250 mark, right? So I was waiting for price to come. There it came. They didn't give me an entry, didn't enter. So there's a high probability we could get it here, or we could get an engulfing that pushes back above this support, and maybe get an entry there, right? But definitely looking out for potential buys. Let's have a look at the daily as well. If you have a look at the daily, you see that nice reject closed above that line of support, right? And if I just extend this across, you guys will see how many times the market has respected this level. So yeah, if you have a look here, you guys can see how it respected it here. So even yesterday, price came, wick closed below, wick below, but the body closed above, right? So there's a very high probability that we're just creating a small wick and we could see price push to the upside, right? Going back to that lower time frame, or the 4-hour time frame rather, this is basically the setup. There's the low, there's the high, right? Price is within that hot zone now. We got around, it's lagging again. It's lagging again. Hey, let me just continue. Yeah, so let's wait for this 4-hour close. If this 4-hour closes in 1 hour and 28 minutes, so that'll be, what is it, 12 o'clock. If at 12 it closes above that support, we could potentially get buys pushing to the upside thereafter. Your trade will look something like so, guys. Your setup will look something like so.
Yes. Guys, to set up to see what we can do with this. Yeah?
What must I stop?
You can talk, but it's lagging crazy, bro. You know what I mean? Like, let me just give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna speak to one of the guys. Yeah?
Okay, sure.
It's crazy lag, bro.
So it looks something like so. This is how a trade setup should look. Remember, guys, ideally your stop loss should be below the previous low. I know some people like much tighter stop losses. That's up to you. But remember, the trade is valid based on this previous low. So if price doesn't break below that, we're still looking for buys, right? So yeah, this is a potential trade on GBP CAD. I'll leave this here, take a screenshot of it, monitor it, because of course at that time I won't be on the live. But yeah, if you're in my community, this is something we're looking at for the day. Also saw GBP AUD that looked decent as well. Very similar setup. Now, when you're looking at this, guys, make sure you take one of the two. Don't go and take both. The reason being, GBP AUD and GBP CAD both move in more or less the same direction. So if you get one wrong, there's a very high probability you're going to get the other wrong as well. So what you can do is one of two things. Either you choose one of the two that you want to trade, or you can split your risk into two. Meaning if you're going to risk, let's say, 1,000 Rand, instead of risking 1,000 Rand on each one, risk 500 Rand on GBP AUD and 500 Rand on GBP CAD. Right? That's another way you can do it. Right? But yeah, even here it looks like we got potential buys loading. Just off the bat, you guys can see there's a nice area of resistance there. Right? Resistance. And you can see how price is behaving now, and it's currently above that. It's on the support. Right, let's make that a psychological level, because we only enter on psychological levels. Right, that's my 1000. You guys can see that there is a rejection there. If I look at my fib from my low to the high, you can see we are within that hot zone. Right, so if you guys see, all of my trades are exactly the same. I wait for price high highs, high lows. I wait for my buy, wait for the market to retrace, and then I take my buy. Vice versa in a downtrend, creating lower lows, lower highs. I do the exact same thing in the opposite direction. Right? I'm not trading all different strategies and different things at different times. All the same thing over and over and over again. And that's how you're going to find consistency in your trading. Let's go into the lower time frame here and see what's going on. The lower time frame, we are still bearish, but yeah, let's monitor how price behaves here at the support. Yeah, we wait for the 4-hour close. If we get a nice 4-hour close, and if you can start to see on the lower time frame, nice structure starting to develop, then we look to take a buy, and your trade will look something like so. Now remember, I'm not saying buy now. No? This is only if you get confirmation. But if you do get that confirmation to buy, your trade will look something like so. So all we are stating is that this most likely, as you see, price creating these higher highs, higher lows here. We're anticipating that this most likely can be the higher high. Sorry, the higher low, and price will push up and create that higher high. Right, that's what we are potentially looking at here. Candle close on previous. Okay, let me see some questions. Can you please analyze NZD USD? Got you. Let's do that. NZD USD. Let's go here. So NZD USD is a bit tricky, and I'll tell you why now. If you guys have a look here, you guys can see that 750. It is it's up here. In fact, you could let's see on the lower time frame. You know what? You could get a potential buy for NZD USD. Could get a potential buy right now for NZD USD. Right? I think we'll see at least price come up here. We haven't really broken that. That's my only issue, is that we haven't broken this. If we had broken above this in the past, and I was very confident that it's going to continue going up, but we haven't broken that. So that'll be the only thing that is giving me some sort of stress. But other than that, if I just look at structure here like so, I think we're fine, man, for a buy. There's the low, there's that high. Right? If you look at that low, look at that high, you'll see price did come in, tap into that 61.8. Right? Price did come and tap into 61.8. It is above the support. Right? If you look in the past, that as a resistance, you can see a rejection. So we are above a support. So we definitely could get a buy to target at least these previous highs here. Right? That will be the first target, of course. And then if not, we can look at, if the price continues pushing up, we can target that 750 area. But yeah, definitely look for buys on this. Not a bad setup. It's just that previous high that's giving me a bit of stress. Another confluence, if I just go into my lower time frame, let's have a look. We do have that channel here. I don't really use channels a lot, but I mean, if it's going to give me more confluence and going to add confluence to my trade, I would see we haven't really broken that point. What I would have liked to have seen is structure turn bullish. So if structure had broken convincingly there, I would like to see it pull back before it goes up. It's not a bad trade, but I mean, it's not an amazing trade just because of structure hasn't really turned on all time frames. Right? On the lower time frame, it hasn't broken, and also on the 4 hour, it hasn't really broken that high. But just based on the structure here, if I just look at this area here, I do see those higher highs and higher lows being formed. But I think maybe just wait it out and see if we can get a lower time frame structure on, like in the 15 minutes. I think that will be a much safer bet, man. Because if you look here, right, we are creating these lower lows and lower highs here, and you can see here we struggled to break above that point. Can you see? So technically it's still bearish on the lower time frame as well. I think maybe just wait for it to break structure on the lower time frame, and then look for potential buys, because this thing can come all the way down. Because if you go back to that higher time frame, you'll see that point there was not broken as well, right? So this could be that lower high, that could be a lower low, this could be the equal lower high, right? And price will potentially push down and even can create that lower low. So there's too many different scenarios here, you know. So yeah, let's see. Okay, next one. Yes, no, lag is very bad. Mine is perfect. GBP CAD. Is this GBP CAD? Oh, you guys can't see the pair. This is NZD USD. I think they need to move. So yeah, this is NZD USD. Oh, I don't even know how to move this shit, man. So where my face is, I can see that that's where the currency pair is, which is why you guys can't see. So just pay attention to the side here. You guys will see what pair I'm looking at. This is NZD USD that I'm currently looking at. What's your outlook on German 40? So German 40. Okay, let me just finish the currency pair first. The currency pairs first, and then I'll go on to German 40. Let's just have a look at where NASDAQ is, if it's come down or pulling down to our entry potentially. Let's go there. It's still stalling around here. Hasn't broken that previous high yet, so we're still fine for now. It can still fly down and give us an entry. Let's just monitor and see. Nice bullish candle there though, so not sure if it will come down, but yeah, let's wait it out. What other pairs were we looking at? Even the time frame. Yeah, I'm gonna try and ask them to come and sort it out, man, just to move maybe the camera down or even remove the camera. You guys don't have to see me, you'll just have to see what I'm doing on the chart. Can you please analyze German 30? I will analyze German 30 in a bit. Let me just see if there's anything else. Let's just have a look at GBP USD. Okay, let's just go. Let's just start with German 30. It's fine. Let's start with German 30. German 30, guys, extremely, extremely bullish. Alright, German 30 is very, very bullish. I don't think based on the momentum you're going to get a pullback anytime soon. And that's why I never looked to trade it at the open. We're not going to get a pullback anytime soon, but here I'll approach it exactly like how I'm approaching my NASDAQ, right? You can see it's extremely, extremely bullish. I need to wait for the price to slow down. Once price slows down, then I'll know, okay, cool, it's a high, right? And then I can use my FOB and wait for a retrace. So for example, something like this, I'd use my FOB maybe from there to there, provided it starts to slow down at this point, right? But here you can see it's not slowing down. Bro, please can you move this camera to down so the guys can see the currency there?
You want to see what?
Isn't my camera's up now, so move it down here.
What can?
This is where I am. Yeah, perfect. Is that better? Yeah, Germany is gone, bruh. Germany is gone without us. It didn't give me an entry that I was comfortable entering at. Because sometimes you'll find you want to rush to enter the trade, and then when you enter, that's when it starts to retrace. and then you blow. So based on that, if it's gone, it's gone. I'll wait for the next 4-hour candle close and I'll come see it again. Let's just check. Even yeah, I think from all the indices, man, NAS is the one that can give us an entry, that we can get a nice pullback, because it's already started to slow down slightly. That's the one that's going to give us an entry. If not, then I'll just try and catch something maybe later on after New York open or so. But for now, nah, this is too bullish right now. And I only wait for retracements. I don't try to jump onto a trade now. Because if I enter a trade now and price decides to retrace, I'll blow. Right, so if I enter a trade like this, and then price starts to pull down, I'll blow my account. So I like to wait for retracements and then take the trade like so. Can you check gold? Okay, I'll check gold. Better. Sharp. Let's have a look at gold. I can see it's currently above a nice strong level. Let's go to 4 hour. Yeah, gold is nice, bruh. Gold is very bullish. So as we broke out of this here, I discussed this from last week, or from our first stream. Once we break above this point, we're gonna fly. That's exactly what happened. Right, gold is currently now above that 100 area, which is there. You can see through nice wicks to that cycle. Wick rejection on its way up. Let's see, we got that 25 area around there, right? So this is the next important point, this 25 area here. Yeah, but it's flying. It is moving. Then we got our 50 level around here. I think what I'll wait for gold, right? This was a nice entry here, right? This was a double bottom. If you have a look here, there's that low, there's that high. Where did price come to? 61.8. So very similar to other setups. That price came once, pushed up, didn't break that high, so meaning everything is still valid. Came again, gave you a nice rejection candle there. That would have been a nice entry on that psychological level, right? For it to target and maybe at least go to this point, right? Let's see if there's any confluence there on the higher time frame. Yep, there is some confluence. You guys can see how price reacted there at that point. And we could see price come up there, just about getting the entry. That entry there is gone already. So I think what you can do if you're looking for an entry on gold on the buy, wait for this 4 hour close. But a lot of the times you don't like to wait. Why is it lagging again? I don't know. Wait for this 4 hour close, right? If this 4 hour close is above this point, right, what you're going to do is you're going to wait for the market to come back to this level and give you a rejection. Once it gives you a rejection, you buy and you target those new higher highs. Make sense? Let's see GBP. You're on a buy on GBP USD. Let's have a look. I see it on the higher time frame. I do see it on the higher time frame. Let's see on the lower time frame. As a student, this is very helpful. I'm glad it's helping, guys. I'm glad this is helping you guys. Buys here are not, I wouldn't say they're terrible, but let's see what's happening with the dollar first. That dollar's still bearish. Dollar's still coming down. Dollar still have to come down all the way down to this point. The dollar must come down to here. The 250 at least. We're currently under the 500 or above. Let's have a look. I think we're just above. Let's see the daily. Yeah, no, the dollar still has to come down. So GBP USD buys is a very nice trade to be in. It's a very nice trade to be in. Dollar still has to at least come to this point. I discussed this last week, I think, or on Monday. Nothing last week. At 99,250, it at least has to come there. And if it breaks there, it's going to come down to 98,750. Right, so GBP USD buys. In fact, maybe we can take a trade. Let's see. strong support here. So the psych level, let's see. Not bad. Not bad. So structure on this is this. Right, high, low, higher, high, higher, low, equal higher, high. Let's wait for it to hit that exact same support and reject again. If I get a rejection on this again, I'll buy. And then we'll target this here, and then we'll target the new highs. Because the dollar still has to come down. So if the dollar still coming down, we still have potential for this to go up. But let's wait for it to come to that 250. If we can come there now, it can give you a signal. I don't want to just be sending trades because I'm live, you understand? I send trades when it's time for me to trade. If I'm not going to take it on my method trader, I'm not going to send it to you guys. So when I do see a trade that is an opportunity for me to enter, I will give it to you. If not, I will just break it down, and then you guys will monitor for the rest of the day. Those that are in my signal group will, of course, get the signal. But those who are not, you guys have an idea of what to look at. So with GBP USD, buys are valid, but what I want to do is I want to wait for it to come to the support. I like the support here. So when it comes to the support, this will basically be a double bottom, and then we'll target that new highs. Right, we can target that new highs. So just monitor it as it comes down to 1.31250. Wait for that. Do you offer signals, and how much? Yes, I do offer signals, guys. Signals are 750 per month, 750 rand per month. And even there, I send 1 to 2 signals a day. I don't send thousands of signals. So if you're looking for someone that's going to send you 100 signals a day, I'm not that guy, but I'm not that guy. I only send trades when it makes sense to trade. I don't just trade because I feel like trading. I only trade when the market gives me an opportunity to trade. There's no opportunity, I don't trade. I just wait. But yeah, this I'll wait for the rest of the day. Any other pairs you guys want me to have a look at, guys? Any other pairs? I'm just gonna give you all the, what's it called? Bro, I'm also on GBP JPY. Okay, let's see that. I'll have a look at that now. GBP JPY. This was definitely Andy, no? I just went over gold, bro. I just went over gold. Buys on this, on GJ, USD JPY. Okay, I'll go over USD JPY in a bit. Hey?
Look at yours.
Mine is lagged. Hey? Oh, now it's right. Oh shit. Oh yeah. Few seconds. So let's have a look at this here. So here looks bullish on the lower time frame. What am I doing? Looks bullish here. This is a nice line of support. You got that 4 that closed above. It started pushing up. Let's have a look at lower time frames. Maybe we can get something on the lower time frame. Maybe we can get something on the lower time frame. So structure wise, I'll look at it like so. Not even really. See the 2-hour time frame. We could get something along this point here. That's a nice resistance there. Let's see if we can go into the lower time frame and see if we can get something. Yeah, we could get a buy here, guys. We could get a buy. Let's wait and see. I'm forcing her a bit, but yeah, we could get a buy on 203, 203 around this point here. If not, that could come down here as well to 202.750. You could get a buying opportunity there. What you want to wait for, but when price comes, you don't enter immediately. Wait for candlestick confirmation. Wait for at least a pin bar. So a pin bar is basically this. You want to see a candlestick that does this. Let me just remove that. You you're gonna see a candlestick that looks like all your trend lines has that arrow, no?
You can shoot off. Click on it.
Okay, no, it's
Take it.
fine.
What do you-
Just do it. So a pin bar looks like this. This is what you're gonna see. Let me make it slightly thicker for you guys. So when you see a
Click on it. Click on it. Go to the settings. Yeah, star.
star,
Yeah.
and
And then there. Yeah, remove it.
yeah,
Normal.
okay,
There we
yeah. So a pin bar you would look something like this. Now you want to see that body the wick come to the downside, right? And then your body must close above that line of support. So basically, when the candlestick opens, it will go down, and then it will struggle to stay below and close above. Once you see that, you'll see, okay, cool, this level is very strong. That's why there's that wick to the downside, and then you guys could look for potential buys and target at negative 27. If you do not see candlestick confirmation, do not enter the trade. Do not enter the trade. I must please go back to it after reviewing some others. What did you miss? Oh, gold. Okay. Okay, cool. Hey, but you can scroll back, yeah. Right? If you missed it, you can always go back. I don't have to do it again. You can just scroll back and then you'll see exactly what I went over on gold. So yeah, USD JPY. Let's have a look at USD JPY. Whose is this?
It's a one. 2-1 is 2-1.
This is a bullish market though. Why did he take that?
Different style too.
Yeah, I guess. I know. Hey, USD JPY. The dollar is bearish, but this thing is pushing up. I think the yen is very weak. If that's the case. Let's have a look at a few other yen pairs. No, I don't like USD JPY. I like to trade things that are moving in the same direction as the dollar holistically. Now this is too bullish compared to what I'm seeing in the dollar. The dollar for me is still bearish currently. This has already broken those highs. So these are buys based on what structure teaches me. So things like this I like to stay away from, because if you guys have a look here, we are creating higher highs, higher lows here, right? And on the dollar overall, we are bullish, right? But on this lower time frame, it's still bearish until we break that high there. So in that case, I'll try to stay away from it. Yeah, I think the yen is very weak, hence why that's pushing up so much. But for me, once this breaks this point on the dollar, right? This is the dollar. Then I'd look at taking or jumping in buys on USD JPY. But now, I won't look at. But it was a very clean setup. It's a very clean setup overall. If you're just trading, there's the low, there's the high. Our price just missed this point, né? Nah, I wouldn't have gotten in this trade at all. I wouldn't have seen this. I would have seen it, but I would have waited for this to come here to that point. So as I said, not every trade is for you. Wait for the market to come to where you need to be. The market will always move, but it's about you entering at where you're comfortable entering based on your strategy. Not entering today like this, and then tomorrow like that, and the next day like that. That's when you'll find you'll take unnecessary losses, because today you're going to do this and it won't work. Then tomorrow you're going to jump to something else. And whereas that day, the thing you did the day before worked. But of course, you're not doing that, you're trying something new. So I try to keep my trading very, very strict in terms of the setups that I use. I want everything exactly the same all the time. Let's see where this is. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's monitor here. You guys could potentially get a setup here. This could be a retracement, right? So you can see price is pulling down as we went over. We want to see how it behaves at this point. I don't want to enter impulsively. I want to wait for the market to give me nice rejection at the support. If you get rejection at the support, I'll give you guys that entry. Let's have a look at NASDAQ. Yeah, NASDAQ is playing around, so we could get it very soon, guys. This stream? Guys, pay attention to this on your chart, nah? I might not be live at that point.
We have literally 9 minutes left.
We have 9 minutes left, so I doubt I'll be giving any trade live. But those in my signal group can take it, and then those who are on the stream can basically as long as price doesn't break that, we can still expect a retracement to this point. When market comes there, wait for candlestick confirmation, enter the buy if you get it. So monitor that, monitor GBP JPY, right, that you can see it's coming down to give you a potential entry. What else did I go over? What is it, GBP USD? Was there news or something? No. Hey? What time? No. Oh, here we go. Yes. I also gave you guys this. Yeah. See price. Remember I said we must wait for price to come down to the support? A few minutes ago, if you guys go back, price was here and I said don't buy here now, wait for price to come here and we're going to observe how price behaves here. If price respects this point, we're going to buy and target these highs. So everything is coming down to where it needs to be. It's just about waiting for confirmation now. Right, this 4-hour close is very important. This closes at 12. If at 12 o'clock this 4-hour closes above this previous line of support, there's a very high probability this is going to continue pushing back to the upside. Look at your lower time frame as well for potential entries, because all this is this. There's that low, there's that high. Right, we're at this point now. So if you get a nice entry here, you're basically going to buy at this point here. Stop loss is going to be just below that point there, and then you're going to target these highs there. So pay attention to that. I think, yeah, guys, that's all on my side. Is there anything else I must go over that I haven't done already? Nah, we covered everything, huh? Yeah. Shout out, guys. I hope it makes sense. If you guys have any questions regarding any of the services I provide, you guys can DM me or WhatsApp me, and I'll try my best to assist you. And then, yeah, I'll catch you guys on Friday, I think at 10 a.m. Hopefully then we'll have a new system so it won't lag and stuff. And now, all the best, guys. Have a profitable day, and we'll chat soon. Goodbye.